fastest show in sports.
I want to begin today with Robert Redford's passing. And when I heard that this morning, the first thing I thought about, I started to think about all his movies. All the President's Men, The Electric Horseman, The Horse Whisperer, Downhill Racer. So many great movies. But I immediately went to The Natural. Because to me, and again, this is one of those subjective things that we always talk about, and it's one of those great things that wastes time on sports talk radio, any radio for that matter, great baseball movies. So when I think of great baseball movies, the first one that comes to mind is The Natural, though maybe it shouldn't. And there are so many moments in it, it's such an emotional movie, but in essence, The Natural is not a real baseball movie. Just think about it, because it's very stylized. It has the great moments, the home run ball at the end of the game, going out, hitting the light stand. It's almost as if it's a magical moment that will never happen. It's just something, it's godlike almost in the way it is presented. It's a fantasy tale. If you're going to talk about, and I started to go through this a little bit, we'll get to everything else, but I had to go through this, because I started to think about baseball movies that were really good and that captured baseball. And there were 7 that came to my mind right away. Major League has got a lot of baseball in it, but it's completely unbelievable. It's all for comedic effect. There is no Jobu. You would never have that kind of a dysfunctional team, so it's made all for fun. Okay, still good. Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams is the only movie I can ever remember walking out of that I was in tears, because I watched the end of it where Kevin Costner looks at his dad and says, "You want to have a catch?" Boom, waterworks. But it wasn't really about baseball. It was about the relationship between a father and his son and repairing that. So that's 2. 8 Men Out. Brilliant film from a historical context. But again, most of 8 Men Out was a courtroom drama. It wasn't baseball. I mean, you saw baseball in it because that was the core of the movie, but it still was more of the courtroom. The Sandlot, a lot of kids, great memories, thinking about what baseball was like when we were kids, but not really a baseball movie. Again, about relationships with the kids. A League of Their Own, brilliant historical film, told a great story that needed to be told, but again, it was Hollywoodized. It became a very Hollywood film to where a lot of that really didn't happen. And some of the baseball was a little bit unbelievable, but more or less it was not necessarily about baseball. 42 was a brilliant film. Chadwick Boseman nailed Jackie Robinson. And that one comes right near the top of what it was, and even with the baseball. But I got to tell you, when it comes to baseball movies, the number one that sits at the top has got to be Bull Durham. It's about baseball. It's about the people in baseball. Yeah, it's got the sex, it's got all the rest that goes with it, but it's about baseball. It's about what happens in the locker room. It's about what happens when you're on the road. It's about what happens with a guy who's trying to recapture himself at the later stages of his career. It's about a young guy who's trying to become a star. That movie, Bull Durham, has real baseball in it. So I'm going to put Bull Durham number 1. I'm going to put The Natural number 2 because it's emotional. And then I'll put 42 in there for the top 3. Either way, thank you, Robert Redford, for a brilliant performance. And one of those movies, matter of fact, when the show's over today, I'm going to go watch The Natural, just because it just seems right in honor of Redford and the magnificent movie.
That's all, folks.